Hello, good evening and welcome to the Midland Mainline here on the Dadrail YouTube channel. This stream will be starting in 7.5 minutes time. Please have your drinks and light refreshments ready. Starting in 7 minutes. Good evening everybody, hello and welcome to the Midland Mainline stopping shift class 158, now with extra large locomotive livery location game. Please have your drinks and light refreshments ready. This stream will be starting in 2.5 minutes.
Reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes. This is a safety announcement. It is not permitted to cycle, skateboard or rollerblade within the station building.
Hello, good evening and welcome to another live stream with me, Richard. If this does happen to be the first video I'll stream, you seen by me. My name is Richard, aka Davrail. I'm a mainline freight train driver and former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. And you are very welcome today to join me on the Midland Mainline for a stopping shift with added extra large locomotive livery location boards.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
We have had an upgrade. We are now on a 6x6 board. That's 36 lovely squares to make this wonderful game a little bit more challenging. Now, if you've not seen this before, we will get into it a little bit later on. It's quite easy. You'll soon get the hang of it. But yeah, we are now on 6x6 grids because I've been promising to do it for ages, so you know, I thought it's about time we actually did. Before we jump in, and as always, I've got to tell you that all the views and opinions expressed in this stream are solely my own, may not affect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. Right, that's the official stuff out the way. Who have we got in? Artie on the moderation, Leo Low, Pig and Bob, Typical Nathan, Vince, Ted Reed, RAF Spotter on the membership. Thank you very much, guys. Trainboy55, Ben Bliss, Mr. Gamer, Orangutan in Bed. Great to have so many of you in tonight. Right, okay, let's do it. We're going to have a little chat about the Dovetail Games roadmap as well as we go along because we have had a few announcements this evening. But without further ado, let's jump in, let's play some trains, let's have a bit of a chat, and let's try and avoid having tea and biscuits with the manager. You never know. It could happen. Right, we are doing the Midland Mainline. Probably a bit of an underrated route, I believe. It's not a route I do very often. I probably should jump into it a little bit more often. Right, timetable mode. And we're going to do the 158. Of course, we do have the ScotRail 158 coming to game pretty soon. I think they reckon within the next 4 to 6 months or something like that was on the roadmap. So yeah, that'll be pretty good. Right, okay, what are we doing? Let's do a midday service at Lincoln to Leicester. 42 minutes. That'll get us going. We might do another run after. We probably will do another run after that. We like to stream for about an hour, hour and a half. Mr. Gamer, good evening. Trainboy55, love the intro. Brilliant. Orangutan in bed. Claps for on time. It happens now and again. LaserJet, what's the next tile size after 6x6? Do you know how long it took me to program a 6x6 board? We're sticking with that for the foreseeable. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Typical Nathan, I wish the services on Midland Mainline were longer. It's certainly a route that's open to expansion. I'd agree with you there. Right, Class 158 East Midlands trains, 2 carriages. Let's give you some game audio. Let me know if you need that tweaking up or down as we go along. I do like a 158. I'm definitely a fan of a 158. Right, let's get some safety systems turned on. Normal, DSD, emergency EBS, normal. TPWS, temporary isolation switch, normal. Key in, and we better check our diagram and see where we are stopping as well in a minute. Into neutral. DRA should be set because we are stopped. Was that already set? That doesn't light up very well, does it? Okay, fair enough. We want to be in brake step 3. Right, let's get those doors open on the left, get some headlights on. Instrument lights on. Cab light off, crew light off. Oh, there we go. Day headlight. Right, where are we stopping today? We are stopping at Beeston, East Midlands Parkway, Loughborough, Loughborough, Barrow upon Saw, Silby, Syston, and Leicester. Got 158 going out in front of us there. Right, it's telling me to lock doors against a red signal, which is an absolute pet hate of mine, but until we do, the signal won't clear up. Turn a GSMR on as well would be a good idea. KO Class 158, the Super Sprinter. Indeed it is, indeed it is. Right, we've done the lock doors thing. What is going on? Oh, it's tea and biscuits with the manager for the conductor. So conductor buzzing you away on a red signal is definitely tea and biscuits with the manager. Not for me though. Artie says, good evening Sammy. Sammy is here in the background doing what Sammy does best, making lots of noise and not wanting to go to bed. Although last night he wasn't too bad, was he? So no, we're going to pay for it today. We're going to pay for it today, apparently. He'll be over here watching me play trains in a minute. Orangutan in bed, I've already broke it. The pie train, would you have to snitch the conductor in real life? To be honest, the pie train, it's one of those circumstances where I would probably have a quiet word. I would just reopen the doors and have a quiet word with the conductor when we get to the terminal station. Yeah, we don't tend to like reporting each other as railway stuff. I mean, sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't have a choice in the matter. But generally, a sort of, you know, a word in someone's ear, a quiet word in the ear is normally the best way to go with these sorts of things. Right, we got a green. Couldn't see what the route indicator was, but I don't know what it's supposed to be, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, as Artie says, if that happens, I'd be self-reporting to my control team. That is the flip side of the coin. If you do have something like that happen and you don't report it, the consequences of not reporting it would actually be far worse than the consequences of actually having the incident. Right, leaving. Where are we? Nottingham, Derby. I don't even know where we're starting from. Oh, I love a bit of route knowledge. Girafast, snitches get stitches. Mumrail, KO says hello. Say hello back.
Hi.
She's the responsible adult in the room. I need one, trust me. Vince, speeding. Of course, Vince. I'm gonna have to start vowing to drive the train in a more professional way. Actually, get a bit of route knowledge under my belt and do things properly. Richard, could you zoom out a bit? Yes. Sorry, I've got God mode enabled. I think that's probably about the right amount of zoom there. S-Trains, good evening. Okay, guys, so let me know if you want the game audio up or down. We can tweak that and have a little play with that as we go along. Let's get a bit of power and get this thing going. Richard, Nottingham. Next stop is Beeston. Thank you very much, Johnny. Phil Clark has become a member. Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate that, my friend. Mike Allen, evening, Rich and family. Good evening, Mike. How are you doing? KO, Deborah, tell your son Sammy to go to bed. If only it was that easy, KO. If only it was that easy. So the reason he's not in bed, if you've never seen one of my streams before, Sammy is non-verbal autistic, and at the moment bedtimes are challenging, to say the least. That's me being nice about the situation. Right, we are good for 80. We got 2.4 miles to Beeston. So let's play our first round of...
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
So if you've not seen this game before, post your numbers in the chat between 1 and 36. I'm going to pick the third number that comes up on my screen, and we shall play. Orangutan and Rich, do you take coffee and bribery? It's got to be coffee and cakes, I'm afraid. Johnny Simulate Gaming, you're driving on my local route. Fantastic. Martin Clough. Hi, Richard. I love Midland Mainline as I visit Nottingham and travel on the 158 a lot. Nottingham Station is modelled very, very well on this game. I'm very impressed. Excellent. Okie dokie. Pig and Bob on the membership. Third number on my screen. Number 20.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So here is how this is going to work, guys and girls. I am going to give you number 20. You've got 10 seconds to give me the locomotive livery and location of what you think you see underneath. What is it? Where is it? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Typical Nathan, Richard, are you allowed to take coffee in the cab? Absolutely. The railway runs on coffee and tea. No tea, no train. That is the saying. There will be a mug coming out to that effect as well in the store. Right, I can't remember how well the brakes work on the 158, so let's err on the side of caution and get it in nice and early. What are we going with? Laserjet says 37. Nick Howarth says 37. Thunderex says 47. Trainboy 47. The Pie Guy 40. GJ 47. KO Train Lights. Gareth Kemp, hello my friend. 37 or 47. Peter G 47. Between the 37 and a 47 at the moment, it seems. No consensus. I mean, could it be a 57 or a 56 even? Right, we're in brake step 2. Yeah, that's coming in nicely. Famous last words. No, it's not. Full service. We've overshot our stop car mark at the first station. Welcome to a Dad Rail stream. I promise they let me do this in real life, and I promise I'm better in real life. I have pressed unlock doors. Something's going on with the... Oh, we've got to wait for the conductor to do it, haven't we? That's right. So it does have a simulated conductor on this. So when I press open doors, there's a bit of a delay while the simulated conductor does their thing. Which is pretty cool. Train boy, you're a bit late. Not too bad, not too bad. It's the red signal we had before we left. Richard saw your arch nemesis in Doncaster today. That'd be the Class 69. Lock doors. Andy Sullivan, I think the last version of Train Sim I bought was Train Sim World 2. Do you know if there is any benefit to buying the latest version? So if you want any of the latest routes, Andy, you will need the latest version of Train Sim. I believe Train Sim World 4 was on sale. It was sort of, I think it was under a tenner. I'm not sure if it still is, but it's worth checking out. You also get the new free roam mode, which is a really nice feature because it means you can put sort of random trains down and just go driving in timetable mode. So you can sort of do rail tours and light engine moves and be a bit creative, which is a really nice feature. Concord 9289, the guard always makes you late. Artie, do you have anything to say about that? Vince says it's still on sale, Humble Bundle. So there we go, Andy. Go and check that out. It is still on sale. Good time to pick it up. Yeah, S-Trains, it's nice that it simulates the conductor, but it's kind of sort of done in a bodged together type of way. So although it doesn't do it properly. It's something I've spoken about before. I'd love to see that sort of a feature within the game. Some sort of dispatch mechanism with an actual working AI conductor. I think that would be a really, really nice feature to have. Fireball, what would you think of this route if they made it as I messed them and they never responded, but see, it would be an EMR train from Nottingham to Worksop and sometimes use the Class 158. Yeah, I'm all for having longer routes and more trains. But again, I guess the devs have got their reason for choosing to model the individual bits that they do. But yeah, I'm definitely all for extending routes and more routes and longer routes. Tom Rotherham, hello. Hello to you too. What do you drive? A Ford S-Max. That's as good as the sense of humour gets around here. I assume you mean in terms of trains. So Class 66s, 73s, 57s, 69s, that sort of thing. Before that, on the passenger, I used to drive primarily Electrostars. All the quality traction. It's getting foggy. Ben, no, I've never driven a 158 in real life. I kind of like the cab layout of the 158. I like the fact that you're on a multiple unit with separate power brake controllers, and I kind of like the power controller being a sort of a forward and backwards lever rather than a circular motion lever. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I would like to drive a 158. Any of the Sprinter family, I think, would be pretty cool. Cross train spotting, do you do tones to train spotters? Depends on the circumstances. Normally yes, but it does depend on the circumstances. If it's late at night or early in the morning, I won't. If it's in a really sort of busy, crowded area, I won't. It does depend on the circumstances, but normally I will if I can. Orangutan in bed. I am touching wood. I have never had a Category A SPAD. That is a SPAD that is my fault. I've had Category B SPADs where signals have gone back in front of me, but I've not had a SPAD where it was my fault. And I'm touching wood because that can happen to any driver at any time, and it's definitely not something we want to happen. I've done it in game. Laserjet. Apparently the Eclipse is in Train Sim World 4. Right, 2 yellows, get some braking. That would be pretty cool if it was. I doubt it was, but that would be pretty cool. So, on the road map this evening, Long Island Railroad. I must admit, I never played the original. What are your thoughts on that? Long Island Railroad version 2. And we also had the announcement of the Class 380. green position 1 route indicator, 40 over the points. The 380 I think is a relatively welcome addition. I'm all for having more stock in the game. Anything that's going to layer onto the Edinburgh-Glasgow route, I think is good. .40 does seem a little bit fast through those points there. And we're off to East Midlands Parkway, just about to come through Red Hill Tunnel. Hi Deborah, can you I assume you mean connect there, class 150 to the 158? In real life, yes, but I don't think you can in game because the 150 is bugged. Remind me later on in the stream and we'll have a little go. We'll give it a go and see if it works. Typical Nathan, are you excited to drive the Edinburgh-Glasgow line on the 5 Circle? So the last live stream we done, which was the 5 Circle enhancement pack, we did take the 170 down to Linlithgow, round the 5 Circle down to Linlithgow, and then we jumped on a 385 and went back to Edinburgh. So, no we didn't, sorry, we took the Flying Scotsman down to Linlithgow. I think with the kind of the 2 branches and everything else and going on in that route, it has a lot of playability options. Something I really like in game is when you've got lots of options to play it in different ways and it kind of all makes sense. So yeah, once we get the route merger on that is going to be really good. Right, we are 2 for the 2. Let's get some brake in. Sammy's here. Sammy's come to watch. That is a really short platform. This is why I drive freight trains. Unlocking on the left. Marissa, 380, again, yeah, long overdue as I mentioned earlier. The only 380 in Train Sim is a 15-year-old model and it's designed from the prototype. King E.T., what route are you hoping Just Trains brings next? So they have a new route coming soon on the roadmap. Hey! I would absolutely love to see... Again, it's my local route, so I'm bound to say that. I would love to see the East Coastway extended. Now we've got the 170 in game. I'd like to see that officially made into a 171 and have the East Coastway extended through to from Eastbourne to Hastings and Ashford. Some of the other routes, C2C network. I've been banging on about C2C network. I think that would make a really nice addition to the game. West Coast Mainline would be great. The West Coast Mainline on Train Sim Classic from Euston up to Birmingham is a good route, and I'd like to see that ported over to Train Sim World. Yeah. Some stuff in Wales, some Welsh routes would be nice as well. I don't think we've got any. We haven't got any Welsh routes yet, so something in Wales would be pretty cool as well. Right, we are off to Loughborough, Loughborough. That's the official name. Joshua Lang, nice stream and a surprise to see you love this route. Yeah, it's a route that I should play more often because it is a fairly decent route, and I don't give it the love and respect it deserves, if I'm being honest.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
George, a South Western Railways route with a Desiro would be cool. Now, you're not wrong there, George. I don't know about the Desiro. I think if I was looking at a southwestern route, I'd probably be looking at something. Artie, cover your ears if you're still here. I'd probably be looking at something like Waterloo to Windsor with the Hounslow and the Richmond included, or Waterloo to Weybridge via Virginia Water and Chertsey. I think that would have a little bit more interest to it than sort of straight down the main line. Oh, fog's gone as quickly as it arrived. Newcastle to Carlisle for Tracy Well 4, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, Leo Low, I thought that was free on the buzzer. I'm not sure what was going on there. Maxwell! Hello, Maxwell. I've not seen you in a stream for a very long time. How are you, my friend? Okay, Locomotive Livery Location. Pig and Bob, you have done it again. You are the 3rd number on my screen. Number 21.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
You're going right next to it. You're going to try and get a consensus on that locomotive straight away. Here we go. 21, 10 seconds. Locomotive Livery Location. What is it? Where is it? Cole, Brighton to Portsmouth would be good. Yeah, that's again, that's a lot of stations down there on the West Coastway line. Hove, Aldrington, Portslade, Fishersgate, Southwick, Shoreham by Sea, Lancing, East Worthing, Worthing, West Worthing, Durrington on Sea, Gorham by Sea, Ford, Barnham, Chichester. No, Ford. Oh, I get lost. Hammering. I don't sign that bit. It's Sam Place is 57. Laserjet's going 37. Gareth Kemp 84. Definitely 37. Johnny Simulator Gaming 55. Trainboy 37. Cross Train Spotting. Loram 37 at Loughborough. Artie, I mean, I'd have to avoid doing my job at home if that were the case. KO Class 37 Slug. Officer John the Bounty Hunter 447. It's a Class 37. John Paul Russell also says 37. Laserjet, yeah, Riviera Line would be a pretty good shout. Down a little bit. Okay, let's jump in the Discord servers. A couple of people asking, oh no, it's one of those horrible Class 56 body snatcher things. And a rail tour. And some fishing type stuff going on. If you want to post any pictures in our Discord server, you're more than welcome to. You can post in the live stream pictures page, and you'll find an invitation link to the Discord server down in the description below. LSMA as a gatekeeper in Ireland, I would love to see Irish routes added to the game. I would be quite interested in that, LSMA, to sort of see what the differences are between the Irish railways and the mainline UK railway. I would sort of be interested to see like what the safety systems are similar, if the signalling is similar. I genuinely don't have a clue. I'm visiting Ireland for the first time, going to Dublin for the first time in a couple of weeks. A little bit more than a couple of weeks. In July, so I'm taking my lovely wife there for her birthday. It's a big one. She's going to be 21. No, she's a little bit older than that. I'm sure we could do a little bit of train spotting, though, can't we, Danny? No. We're probably taking the train from Dublin to Belfast, so I think I'm going to sneak it in. I'm going to pretend it's a journey. Festiniog. I really want to do the Festiniog, Carl. I don't know if it'd be very good in game because it's quite slow. It'd be quite similar to like the Bernina line and the Arosa, which I don't like playing because they are really, really scenic lines, but they are just incredibly slow. 2 flashing yellows. I think the Festiniog would be the same in game. Opera Powie has posted your age, or potential age. He is your son. He hasn't made me a cup of tea. Right, 2 flashing yellows on the last signal. One flashing yellow. Got a 50-mile-an-hour warning board. So we're expecting the next signal to be a static yellow and a route indicator. Roy Michael Taylor, good evening from Derbyshire, good evening from St Leonard's. We do that every stream. I hope your day has been good. My day started at 12:15 this morning with an early morning alarm call to do a train, so feeling tired. LSMA, the Irish railway signals are mostly copied from the UK and mainland Europe. There is that 50. I was expecting that 50 to be across the points, I must admit. 1 yellow steps up to green. 40 across the points. Position 4 junction indicator. We should do the we do the official station announcement. Good afternoon, everybody. We will shortly be arriving at Loughborough. If you are leaving the train here, please make sure you've got all your personal belongings with you and keep them with you whilst on and about the station. I'd like to thank you very much for travelling with us today on East Midlands trains. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a very pleasant onward journey. Loughborough is our next station stop. Doors will open on the right hand side. See it, say it, sorted, all of that good stuff. I could have been a conductor. Right, we are 2 for the 2. Let's see if we can actually stop this in the right place this time. Hey Nick Fleming, good evening, how are we doing? Let's go 2 for the 2. Are we going to get it in the right place? I can't even see the 2 car mark. There's an AWS magnet there. We don't want to be stopping on that because that causes all sorts of trouble. That'll do, we'll take it. Someone mentioned instrument lights. I believe I've got them turned on. Oh, I haven't. I've got them off. I must have turned them off earlier on. Dexter Plays Productions. Hello, Deborah. How are you? I'm good myself. Great to hear it, Dexter. Getting the 5 line soon. If you're getting it on PC, Dexter, I would recommend downloading the enhancement mod pack for it. It's completely free from the Train Sim World community website. If you Google 5 circle enhancement pack, you'll be able to find it. If you're playing on console, unfortunately you can't, but it's worth picking up if you're on PC. Space Lava, good evening, Deborah, from a very windy Grimsby. It was really windy down here earlier. Is it still windy out there? No, it's calmed down now. Wolfboy, how many hours is a normal shift driving? So it depends on what company you work for, Wolfboy, but we can do up to 12-hour shifts where I work, and so after you've had your break and everything else, so yeah, you can do sort of 9, 10, 11 hours driving. I mean, sort of between 8 and 10, I would say is probably pretty standard. Thank you very much. We have a cup of tea, although it's not in the official Dad Rail Cup, so you lose points for that. No tea, no train. Officer John, the Bounty Hunter 447. Don't be mean to your woman. Never. I've been married to my lovely wife for nearly 20 years, and she is absolutely fantastic. Right, 30 through the points as the HST comes bombing past us. Typical name from Richard, what's the max driving hours and what happens if you go over it? So our rules are different to truck drivers in that respect, so we don't sort of have a set maximum that you can do in a week or in a shift. You're not supposed to do more than a 12-hour shift. That's kind of the maximum you can do. In one sitting, we're not allowed to do more than, I think it's 6 hours driving in one sitting. Generally speaking, the only time you're ever going to exceed that is if there's serious disruption. But all your diagrams and your duties should be planned to allow sufficient time. Right, we are off to Barrow upon... Is that Barrow upon Soar or Barrow upon Sour? Mike Allen, what's the reasoning for not closing the doors on a red signal? Good question, Mike. It's about preempting events and leading you into a full sense of security. So your kind of routine when you leave a station, your natural instinct is to close the doors. When the doors close, you'll get either the conductor's going to go ding ding, or the interlock light's going to come on. You're going to get a little relay click behind you, and you kind of, that chain of events leads you to do the next thing because you kind of preempt everything happening. You drive in a state known as unconscious competence, which is basically, it's autopilot. So the blue light comes on, you hear the relay click, you take power because that's just what you do, and you haven't acknowledged the signal. So you're introducing an additional level of risk. So the signal check becomes the first thing you do. If the signal's red, you don't proceed any further. Right, 1.6 miles, we're good for 65. No, Ted, that was a book shift for me this morning. It was a nice easy one because I was back home by about 8:15 this morning, so Ben, does this train have vigilance in game? I believe it does, although I haven't heard it go off yet. John Paul Russell, still windy in Gloucestershire. Maybe there's another isolation switch for the vigilance that I've missed. We can always go looking for that in a minute. Right, here we are. 0.6 miles out the station. We've got to start getting some of these stops at least half decent. Go from one extreme to the next, under braking to over braking. Again, you know, I've said it a lot of times, this is where the importance of route knowledge really comes into it when you're trying to maintain a schedule, because you'll know exactly what speed to shut off power, you'll know exactly where to put the brakes in. It's you know, the value of good route knowledge really can't be overstated. And then when you've got really short platforms like that as well. Oh, please stop. Oh, it's not. The leading doors are not even on the platform, are they? Okay. Unavoidable. Vigilance should be on the wall behind you. There we go. So it wasn't on the main safety system panel, that's why I missed it. That's my excuse. That was definitely tea and biscuits. And the biggest thing I'd done there was release the doors. That would have been more the incident than the actual overshooting. Would have been the door release. We are very, very late at this point. Right, let's get it going. KOT and biscuit time, absolutely. Oh, Danny Hammer, why do you like DMUs over diesels? Not sure where you're going with that one, Danny. DMU is a diesel multiple unit. Do you mean why do I like the multiple units over locos? I don't. Oh, GSMR is bugged. It's turned itself off. That's really annoying. Typical name from Richard. If you were a passenger driver at a station doing an ECS, that's empty coaching stock, what happens if you accidentally open the doors and people got on? If you stopped at a station and accidentally opened the doors, it has happened. Not to me, but I know it has happened. Then what you need to do is make sure everyone's off that train before you move it. Sammy's having a whale of a time in the background. So what that may involve is closing the doors and then walking through the inside of the train, just making sure there's no one on it. Or if you've got the assistance of a conductor or platform staff, then using the porter switches on the end of the coaches. So you have one person walk through the middle, one person walk along the outside of the train, and then lock the individual coaches as you go along. Concord, out of interest, do you have a favourite route to drive in real life? Out of all the routes I signed, probably Ashford to Brighton. Hastings to Eastbourne in particular is a really nice bit of route along the coast, along the Pevensey levels. That's a really nice bit of route. KO, slow. I've just ordered some West Coast Railways Mark IIs from a Cura scale. In terms of the actual building, that is a project that will start in anger in the summer, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, typical Nathan, conductors can be on trains during ECS moves. It could be that you're taking a train from, I don't know, from the depot to station X to start the shift. You might need the conductor to travel with you to station X to begin the shift with you, so yeah, that's not a problem at all. Selective, what would your opinion be on the West Coast Mainline being added? I'd love to be able to drive a Class 390 or a 2T1. What part of the West Coast Mainline would you like selected? Because the chances of us getting it all, I would imagine, are really, really slim. Are there any sections in particular? I'm going to do the typical southerner thing. I would like to see... I think the south section of it would be good. And the reason I say the south section of it would be good is because of layers. Because we've got the Bakerloo line in game and we've got the Class 710 in game. So you're going to be able to have those layers on there straight away. God, this station is a mess. You're going to be able to have those layers on there straight away, which is going to give it a bit more immersion. And then I think it probably wants to run as far as... I don't know, I reckon you need Milton Keynes or Rugby to get a decent run. Probably Rugby, or Birmingham would be brilliant, but that's... I can't see it going to Birmingham. But yeah, what bit would you like? Richard Todd, how do you get this on Train Sim World 4? I've downloaded it. Your comments just disappeared to me. I've downloaded it, but it's for Train Sim World 3. It's Train Sim World 4 compatible, so anything that was made for Train Sim World 1, 2, or 3 will work on Train Sim World 4. It's all backwards compatible. So if you've downloaded Train Sim World 4, yeah, it should show up, I believe. Northern Princess Productions says Preston to Carlisle. Concord, I personally would like Carlisle to Glasgow. LaserJet 899 overshoots. Richard, you've got to think about last gen consoles on West Coast Mainline South. Do you know what, LaserJet? I completely and utterly get where you're coming from with last gen consoles, but there comes a point when you have to stop supporting technology and you have to move on. And I know if you've got a last generation console, and you know, I get that current gen consoles are really expensive and stuff, and you know, I hate to see anyone excluded, but we don't still make games for PlayStation 3s, we don't still make games for Mega Drives. You know, there comes a point when you have to cut off and move on, and I don't think you can let old technology stop progress. So although it's a difficult decision for the devs, but I expect what they'd do if they did do the south section of it is they'd probably, you know, you'd have less layers on it or something like that, or it'd sort of be toned down. Vince, Milton Keynes to Euston. Ian Morris, Preston to Carlisle, set in the 60s with a steam and diesel. Do you know what, Ian? I think, I don't know about 60s because I'm not a big steam fan, but sort of that BR Blue era, sort of, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, whenever BR Blue was. Preston to Carlisle would be a really sort of nice, that would really go hand in glove with Blackpool branches. I could sort of see that working really well with like the pacer that we had on there, the 47 that come with it. That would definitely sort of go hand in glove. Hopefully, even with like an 86 or an 87, that would, yeah, I'd be here for that. Selective, yeah, I agree. Me personally would like Coventry or Rugby to Euston, but that would be very tight on the typical hour-ish long routes. So the reason Dovetail like routes that are about an hour-ish is because of playability, and obviously when you play like I'm playing this now, that all goes to figures on Steam, and they can sort of look at what routes are being played, how many miles are being driven, how long people are playing the game for. And from conversations I've had, routes that are about an hour long tend to be the most popular. Your sort of casual player won't sit there and play 2.5, 3 hours of train sim. I mean, I would. I expect you guys would, but your typical player won't. So they kind of, everything's done to the mass market appeal. We've got a 50 coming up there. Didn't Just Trains announce a new route? I didn't actually watch the road map. I kind of just caught the highlights of it, but possibly that could work. Oh, Pulp, I'd like to see Preston to come with a pace of 150. Yeah, I used to live in Burnley, Pulp, so again, used to be my local line for 6 months, so I definitely wouldn't say no to having that in game. Right, we've got a warning bill for a 20 there with no AWS, which is unusual. If the speed reduction is more than a third, you should have a warning board with associated AWS. Monica, no. I know. I'm still in therapy for it, but it's getting better. It's getting better. Someone was asking about the Discord. We've just got to negotiate this 20-mile-an-hour speed restriction coming up, and then we will jump over in the Discord. Let's get the speed down a little bit more. Josh, what's your favourite multiple unit? Or what's my favourite multiple unit, even? That's a pretty good question. I don't think I've particularly got a favourite multiple unit, if I'm being honest. Just go all out and say a pacer, 142. I mean, it's got to be someone's favourite, right? Right, what have we been posting? Train Boy, Stobart Rail, and a green 37. Nice. Ah, look, it's is that a 158 or a 159? A train spot from Somerset. Everyone's posting away. Everyone's posting away. And if you want to post anything, we're in the live stream pictures page, and you'll find an invitation link down in the description below. As always, as we approach Syston or Syston Station, we got 123 of you lovely people watching. If you haven't already, please to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and
post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
We're going to do another run once we finish this one. Do you want another 158 run, or should we do an HST run? Pig and Bob, are you going to get the third number again? Oh, it was almost a perfect stop. Gareth, oh, have I got that right? Yes, Gareth Kemp, you're the third number on screen. Monica was first. Nick Holworth was second. Monica, you got... Where am I? No, Monica. You got the first number and the third number.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
And that number is 14. 10 seconds. Locomotive Livery Location if you can. I thought the 6x6 grid would make it harder. You just gone bang in with the right squares there. What are you reckoning? Where is it? What is it? Oh, everyone wants HST, 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 HST. Oh, we can give the HST a bash. Dexter, want to actually do a 357 cross-country livery if you don't mind. 357 in cross-country. Do you mean a 170 in cross-country? I mean, they pretty much look the same. Why is the train not moving? There we go. Try again. Typical Nathan, 37 Colas York. Johnny Simulator Gaming, 37 Derby. Lewis C21, 37 at Wakefield Kirkgate. Gareth Kemp, definitely a 37. LaserJet Overshoots, 37 in Colas. KO, 37 BR Blue. Dexter, do you know what, we have absolutely done the 170 to death lately, so I'm we'll take the HST out. Trainboy Deborah, a reminder after we're done with this round, see if we can couple the class 150 to the 158. Yeah, not a problem. We will definitely have a look at that once we get into Leicester. I'm joking, Leicester. I was just doing it the American way. It's Leicester. No, we won't try accents. That was a bit Cornish. Leicester. No, that doesn't work. I can't do an American accent. So I finished editing a video today. Hey! I mean. Driver's eye view video from Haywards Heath. It's on the Freightliner Arlington service, Haywards Heath to Acton Lane reception. Split into two parts. First part is Haywards Heath to East Croydon via Red Hill. Second part will be East Croydon to Acton Lane reception. I finished editing part 1 today. I've just got to record the commentary for it. That will be uploaded tomorrow in 4K. Fancy. Channel members, you will get a notification probably late tomorrow evening at some point saying that it's live, and that'll be live for the general public 24 hours later. Perfect Cornish accent. Oh, R. Well, hey. Wait, hey. Alright, my lover. Something's going to come flying past. Nice. Sounded like Jeffro. What a comedian. I expect a lot of the audience are too young to remember Jeffro, Danny. I mean, I'm almost too young. It was one of those 18 rated videos that you weren't supposed to watch as a kid. Back when I was a lad. Dexter Place, what trains do you drive? As you say on the title, a train driver plays. So I'm a mainline freight train driver, Dexter, and I used to be a passenger train driver. So currently I drive class 66s, 57s, 73s and 69s. My previous company I was on primarily Electrostars. You know me, I'm impartial to an accent, but never, ever, ever do that accent again. Which one was that? Is that the Bristolian accent? Monica, my old talk was... So when I was a shunt driver, I used to drive networkers. They were probably my favourite to drive. I spent a lot of my mainline career was 375s, 377s. Right, we got a 50 coming up. Josh, no, the one next door, Southeastern. But I did used to drive Southern trains as well. So I worked for Southeastern, but we had a contract to drive the Tunbridge to Red Hill class 377s. It was Tunbridge to London Bridge when I started. It's rolling back. We've got slight uphill gradient. Little rub at the brake just to bring that down for the 50. Spot on. Yeah, Vince, there's some really nice route enhancement. You're talking about mods on Train Sim 4. There's some really nice route enhancement mods. So I'd say in particular, like, depending on what route you've got, the 5 circle is a really good one to have a look at. There is a route enhancement mod for this route, which I don't currently have installed. Brighton Mainline route enhancement mods. There are some pretty good ones that do make the world of difference. There's some realistic branding mods as well, which will sort of put WH Smiths on stations and put sort of branded posters and bits and bobs in. Lewis Gates, the 69s are such reliable locomotives. I'm not saying anything. All opinions are my own. Typical Nathan Trace. I wish I had Train Sim World 4 on Steam, but I have it on Xbox. PC, the mods do work, but the 170 doesn't. As we approach Leicester. Leicester. I can say it properly. Leicester. David Lang, hello. Amnu was watching your videos yesterday. Hello, David. Welcome. Great to have you here. I should be doing 15. And we're 2 for the 2. And we will try and couple up the 150 as requested, although, like I say, I'm pretty sure there's a fault with the 150 that does prevent us from doing it at this point. Richard, what have you got against 69s? Well, how long have you got? And all stop. Full service brake application because we are stopped on a red signal. DRA set into neutral. Doors will open on the right hand side. What is wrong with 69s? What have I got against them? Well, I have to drive them. That's what I've got against them. Do you know what? Seeing that classic body shape, that classic Class 56 shape, seeing that shape locomotive on the network is good. The 69s are... I'm not going to say too much about them. They're not bad locomotives, to be fair. They do drive really, really nice. It's just that as a driver, they're not the most comfortable things in the world. They are far more reliable now than they used to be. When they first come out, they had a lot of teething trouble, but they are getting there with them. So I don't hate them. They're just probably my least favourite of all the locomotives that I sign. Yeah, but nothing against them as such. But what I will say is that all views and opinions are solely my own. Just in case. Monica asked a good question on the GSMR radio. We will just try that 150 out in a minute. The ST button is it stands for stop. So when the GSMR was first introduced, it was kind of a throw over from the CSR days, so a lot of the buttons are quite similar. Let's just get our gold medal. I didn't think you could get platinum on this. We'll return to free roam. We'll see if we can get that to work. Yeah, so on the CSR radios, when you had an emergency stop message come through, you'd have to stop the train and then press the ST button, which would send a message back to the signaller confirming that your train had come to a stand. It's very similar on the GSMR. So once you do an emergency stop, you press the ST button. My understanding is, though, that on the GSMR, when you press the ST button, it doesn't actually ping back to the signaller. However, if you get what's known as a safety broadcast come through on the radio, which is a pre-recorded message by a signaller that you have to acknowledge, you use the ST button to acknowledge that message. So, for example, if there's report of... There's only certain instances that it can be used in. There's report of low adhesion at the next station, so the signaller, you'll have a pre-recorded message. When you hit a certain trigger point, the radio will go off. This is a pre-recorded message. This is the signaller at Leicester. There's low adhesion reported at Loughborough Junction. Please acknowledge receipt of this message, and you'll press the ST button, which will then send a message to the signaller, which then is basically you saying that you've received and acknowledged the message. So it kind of closes that loop. So they can send a message, and you can send a receipt to say that you've received and understood the message. Okay, we are going to do an HST run, but before we do that, I did promise. I can't remember who it was. If I can even get out the cab, that'd be a good start. I did say we would try coupling the 150 up. Like I said, I don't think it works, but I think it's a 150 issue. Actually, I don't think I've got the 150 installed at the moment. I haven't. No, we can't do that. We can't do that because I haven't got the 150 installed. I haven't got the West Cornwall local installed at the moment. Oh God, not Slough. Where's Slough? Dexter Place Productions, LO Signal. This is driver 2 November 38 Ashford West Junction. I can't release the brakes. They're completely stuck on. That was a red video, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that one. Right, okay, to the trains. Choose a route. Midland Mainline. Timetable. High-speed train, EMT, 2+8. Nottingham. Nottingham to London St Pancras. There we go. Let's jump in. Let's take this for a spin and then we will wrap it up. In the meantime,
post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
As Sam confirms there, that is correct. Signallers do not get the ST acknowledged back when it's during a rec call. Yes, on the old CSR radio, I believe signallers did get the acknowledgement back, but yeah, basically it'll flash stop on our screen, and when we press the ST button, it stops it flashing. Right, here we are, HST. If you want to ride an HST now, you've got to go to Scotland or abroad. I'm very careful what I say, but I say you'd rather go abroad. I didn't say that. Right, safety systems, DST, vigilance, and the AWS, I can never find it on this. So I'm going to have to cheat and press. I think it's control and enter. Vigilance normal. Oh, where's the AWS isolator on this? Brake test mode normal. Somebody's going to have to tell me where the AWS isolator on this is, because I cannot remember for the life of me. I do not play this train very often. Right, let's key on anyway. Apparently it's already in state, it's already in, so we won't worry too much about it. Right, unlocking doors on the right. GSMR functionality, non-existent. Headlights, headlights, headlights. Day headlamp and markers. Okay, we are stopping at East Midlands Parkway and Leicester only. Loading passengers. Right, numbers, what do we got? KO is the third number on my screen. Nick, you were the first one. Pig and Bob second. KO, the third number, with number 11.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Okay, here we go. Box number 11. 10 seconds. Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. That's not particularly helpful, that one. There's a little bit of something there. There's a little bit of something. Someone will probably get it from that. Oh dear, oh dear. Unwind and relax your mental health. Good advice. I'm late to the party. Sorry about that. Not a problem. Not a problem. Right, East Midlands Parkway in 7.7 miles. Brakes off. And I'm not going to take power until the brakes have almost fully released, because otherwise I'm pulling against the brakes, which is, it's not good for the locomotive, it's not good for the brakes, it's not good for the passenger experience. We are moving. Hey, Palp has become a member. Thank you very much, Palp. I feel like I've done something incredibly wrong here. Ah, my DRA's still set. At least it was rolling forwards. LaserJet 37 in Colas livery at Derby. Nick Fleming 37 in RDG or LSL livery. 37 in a solar eclipse, says GJ. How you doing, GJ, my friend? She's a beautiful piece of engineering. Love it. Tea and biscuits. Nah, probably not for that, Gareth. Northern Prison Productions 37, Lorem. Interesting. 37, 1418 specifically. Palp, I've been watching a lot of your past streams vids, but never had many chances to join you live. Glad to finally hop in for a live. No worries. Great to have you here. I'm sure we're driving the route in the same direction we've just driven it in as well. Jeez. It's my bad. Monica, now give us more about CSR or you will be X'd to Slough. You've lost me, Monica. Yeah, oh, good, thanks, GJ. KO class 37 GBRF livery. Don't think GBRF have got any 37s, unfortunately. Unwind and relax your mental health, Richard. Do you know what's new in the roadmap update? I missed the stream. So I didn't see it myself. I only kind of know highlights of it. There's been a new train announced, which is the ScotRail class 380, and Long Island Railroad is having a complete redo. And someone said that Just Trains announced a route as well. So I'm sure someone in the chat will tell you what you missed. Mike Allen, I think it's probably a universal term within the industry, tea and biscuits with a manager. It's certainly something I use a lot, but I think it is used in the industry a fair bit as well. I mean, I'm happy to claim it if nobody else wants it. Tea and biscuits with a manager, Dad Rail. That could be my legacy. Samuel Swift, do you know what the route was in the 4 to 6 month section? I don't, Samuel. Just Trains have announced they are working on a route, but hasn't been confirmed.
Now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Right, let's have another round of Locomotive Livery Location. And Nick Fleming, Richard, do you ever work for Yankee 196, Yankee 43? I commonly see these services from... I worked for Yankee 19 on yesterday, Monday. But the first part of it, so the Mountfield to Tunbridge, I didn't work it down to Southampton. But yeah, I do occasionally work that service. You're at Ashford, aren't you, Nick? Middlesex. Right, we're good for 80. Let's keep a little bit of throttle in. Keep the speed somewhere between 75 and 80. Gives us a bit of room to play with. Vince Mergim, Samuel Smith, third number on my screen, number 14, which I believe we've already had, but we'll have a look.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Yeah, we've had 14, Samuel, so we'll go with Nick, number 23. 10 seconds, Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. Is that a Euro Phoenix? What are your thoughts? Is it more challenging with the 6x6 grid? I spent about 4 hours getting the 6x6 to work today because it has to be programmed to work with the Stream Deck and it takes a long time. Potato Man, do you ever go through Dover? I sign as far as Ashford and then... That stepped up to green, didn't it? I sign as far as Ashford and then across the Marsh link via Rice and I don't get down as far as Dover. Laserjet 37, Lorem Livery Derby. Gareth Kemp, Lorem 37. Well, it helps with the livery, says Josh. No worries, Samuel, that's fine. Colas 37, Derby. This is typical Nathan. Nick Fleming, I have to suffer Clapham Yard most days. Oh. I sign Clapham, but I don't sign the yard. Well, I sign the Windsor side, and I sign the Southern side, but I don't sign the bit in the middle. I don't sign the Southwestern Main. Chaos is 37, Colas livery. Wolfboy 37.7. Right, we've got 3 miles to go to East Midlands Parkway. We're still good for 80. Keep the speed in. We've got 132 of you lovely people still here. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. Consider subscribing. That would be very, very helpful. Potato Man, what do you mean by sign? So for every route that we drive as drivers, we have to sign it. So basically you complete an assessment on the route and then you sign a piece of paper to say you're competent on it. So it's known as signing the route. So I can't drive over a section of line unless I've learnt it and unless I've been assessed over it and I've signed a piece of paper to basically certify that I know where I'm going. It's not like driving a car where you can just drive wherever. You've actually got to sort of know the route. The reason for that is the main reason for that is when you drive a car, you drive on line of sight. You drive so you can stop within the distance you can see to be clear. When you're driving a train, you're not driving on line of sight. You need to know what's around the corner. You need to know where the stations are, where the speed restrictions are. HST sounds beautiful. We'll have an outside shot as we leave East Midlands Parkway. Richard, what's your favourite route that you've drove? My favourite route that I sign, as I said earlier, is let's drop to 70 for the corner there. Favourite route that I sign is got to be Ashford to Brighton via Eastbourne. Wolfboy, hope the new route by JT is as good as their last route, which raised the bar. What would you like it to be? Right, remembering that the brakes on this are not going to be as good as the 158. And I had trouble stopping the 158. 156 Andrew, Shortbread Express. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Mike, our drivers freelance and free to work for many companies are just fully employed by one. So I believe there are some drivers. No, that's wrong. I don't think in the UK there's a concept of a freelance driver, because in order to hold competency, that competency has to be registered through a company. I can't go out as an individual and become licensed to drive a train. That's got to be done through a company that holds a safety case. So whereas companies do hire drivers out to each other, you need to be directly employed by a company. So one of our Discord contributors, one of our Discord diary contributors, Alex, who is a German ICE driver, a really nice guy. He used to work in Germany as effectively an agency driver. So he was signed on with an agency, and the agency would hire him out to various different companies to go and drive their trains. But in the UK, that isn't really a thing. See, I could drive this one because it handles more like a freight train. Although I still stopped short of the mark, but never mind. It's all on the platform, that's the main thing. Oh, okay. The 158 has stalled. I thought we were going to get a nice sort of flyby shot there. The loading of the passengers is taking a long time. Rick Ashtray, what happens when they change the layout of the tracks you're signing, like remodelling of King's Cross? So we will get briefed in advance. Stephen Walker, hello, welcome, new subscriber. So if there's been significant changes to the signalling, we will get a brief on that. So normally you'll get, depending on how severe it is, but you'll get like an updated route map with details in it. When they done the remodelling of London Bridge, we actually had a virtual reality mock-up. So it was almost a bit like sort of a version of Train Sim, and it was given to us on a USB stick, and you could just go through the route in virtual reality. You couldn't actually drive it; it was just like a video run through, but it was all modelled exactly where the signals were going to be, where the speed limits were going to be. So it was actually really, really good. Right, okay, let's get. Right, I'm just going to whack it open. Jack, hello and welcome. Samuel Swift, this train has 3,540 horsepower, so that is more powerful than a 66. 3,540 horsepower. Was that per power car, Samuel? That's a beast. Yeah, Dean, that southern fog transition is very jarring. Top notch, what is LLL? Well,
post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
LLL is Locomotive Livery Location, which is our stream game. Post your numbers in the chat now between 1 and 36. Top notch, you will soon get the hang of it. Nick Richard, can you sign into Windsor and Eton Riverside, and have you heard of the LSL 47s coming down? Although I do get some say in where I sign, or sort of say I get some say, I get a little bit of influence in where I sign. We don't have any freight traffic down to Windsor and Eton, so chances of me being able to sign that or being able to make a case for signing it are really slim. Radio! Top notch. This is how it works.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
KO! You're the third number on my screen. With number 9, I'm going to give you box number 9. 10 seconds to identify the locomotive livery and location of what you see underneath. What are you thinking? Where are you thinking? Let me know your thoughts as always in the chat. Kestrel, currently a guard at the moment, applied to go driving, fingers crossed. Wishing you all the best, my friends. LaserJet, no, got an ad. Oh, sorry, LaserJet, they are on random. It's not me pressing buttons, I promise. Top notch, class 37 Derby. Gareth Kemp still at 37. Top notch, Lorem. LaserJet, Lorem 37 at Derby. Samuel Swift, definitely Lorem class 37, but not sure where. DC87, hello, how are you doing? Pout, that's a class 700, I reckon. I can see the winky face as well. Right, are we going to get this thing up to 120? We are wide open. Josh is the Lorem 37, no clue where. LaserJet, I've had 2 ads when you do LLL. LLL. Trainboy, hi Darrell, what is your favourite train in real life and why, except from the class 66? I don't know if I've got a favourite. So out of the trains that I drive, that I sign, the locomotive I like driving the most is probably the Class 57. Although it's entirely possible I won't get to drive one of those again because we don't have them at my depot anymore. In terms of kind of favourite train or locomotive, full stop, I'm not sure really. What would be yours, train boy? Jack, have you ever been to Barden Sidings? I haven't, no, that's a little bit off my patch. Stephen Walker, 380 for Cathcart plus a new timetable that has announced in the roadmap this evening. Potato Man 00, can you see how many miles trains do, like in a car? Depends on the train. So yeah, the Class 66s you can. You've got like a little computer screen up in the top there. And you can interrogate that and you can definitely find out. Richard Truman, hello new subscriber, welcome, good to have you here. Josh, I've never been on a 380, so I genuinely I couldn't tell you. Ben P, hello, how you doing? Come on, we've got 10 miles to Leicester. Do you remember the old advert for the HSTs with the police train racing alongside? Yes. That's on YouTube, that advert somewhere. You can find it on YouTube. Right, we've got 110 coming up. We've shut the power back there. Hopefully that will roll back. Might just need a little rubber brake. DC87, good question. Have the recent train strikes affected any of your driving? The recent train strikes have meant that the last couple of shifts I had, especially Monday, I had green signals everywhere and was able to get to my destination early. So it's in that sense it's been a positive thing involved in it, and it's been dragging on for a long time now. So hopefully the government can get around the table and get it sorted. Potato Man, that's an interesting question. I'm not entirely sure, but I was told recently that at my company we cover around 1 million miles in 10 weeks across the entire fleet. So you are talking about some pretty big numbers. Kestrel, it's a weird, yeah. Do you feel a bit lonely when there's strikes? It's weird, Kestrel, because the railway it's really barren and it's really empty, and you go through stations and there's nobody there and there's no other trains, and it's a little bit eerie. It's like post-apocalyptic, really. It is a very, very strange feeling when you're driving along, and you know we're used to it. Obviously, we're used to it at night. When you're driving along in the middle of the day and the place is empty, it is very, very strange. Jack, I know Eastleigh well. That's on my patch. I sign Eastleigh. Eastleigh sidings are massive. I'm also, so as well as being a mentor driver, I'm also the health and safety rep for my region. And I had a health and safety walk at Eastleigh about a week and a half ago, and it took about 5 hours. It's a big old site. It's a very big site. Nick Fleming, if you give me a wave, I'll give you a wave and a toot back. Pulp, that is absolutely true. Back in the day, managers did used to use speed guns. They'd be out with speed guns just like the police with the radar gun type things, monitoring your speed. Of course, now they don't need to do that because all trains are fitted with black boxes and we're all subject to random downloads, so it doesn't happen anymore. Network Rail can also monitor your speed by monitoring the track circuits. So there are certain areas where They know what speed of trains pass through a track circuit. If you're speeding, they will know about it. Wolfboy, good question. Do you always finish your shift where you started and parked your car, assuming you go by car? If not, how do you get home? So, the company I work for, my day will start and end at my home depot, which is Tunbridge, or it will start and end at my home address. And it'll be the company's responsibility to either get me back home or get me back to my home depot, or book me into a hotel, depending on what the shift is. But yeah, so say I work a train from Tunbridge to London. If there's no trains home, they'll be getting me a taxi home. Or it could be that I've got a company van parked somewhere in London that I can use to come home. Or it could be that there's a train to get me back to Tunbridge. So yeah, that is part of my shift. So my shift will start and end. In answer to your question, yeah, unless I'm going into a hotel, into lodge, it will start and end in the same place. Right, we're to take the power back a little bit because we've got 115 and a 90. That's starting to roll back nicely. Train boy, I think my favourite train is ENER steam train because of the look of them, the smell of them, and the sound of them. Right, okay, we are coming to the end of this route and therefore the end of the stream, which means let's do this one more time.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Yeah, KO, a train at 125 miles an hour travels 2 miles in a minute. There used to be an exclusive club at some of the intercity depots called the 2 Mile a Minute Club. Richard, what happens if you get caught speeding? It depends on the severity. If it's particularly severe, you know, if you're doing a Lumo, it's definitely going to PT and biscuits with the manager and potentially more. If you're doing 1 or 2 miles an hour over, you could argue speedo inaccuracy, but yeah, generally we try and keep it under. But you know, we're only human. Sometimes if you're going downhill, it does creep up a little bit. As long as you correct it and you're not constantly doing it. If you've gone over the speed limit by 2 miles an hour, 1 or 2 miles an hour, once or twice on a journey, it's not going to be the end of the world. However, if you're consistently going over the speed limit, then you sort of need to look at the way you're driving and maybe make adjustments to that. Barry Daniel, good evening. Okay, third number on my screen is Spinal Lazar, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there, with number 29.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Gonna give you... Oh, I've got to go on to page 2 to find the right button now. 29. I'm going to be really generous here because I'm feeling really generous. I want to give some more people the opportunity to get the location as well. So let's give you that one as well. What is it? Where is it? Jack, surely it would be GBRF's own shunters. I've lost the thread there, Jack. You'll have to come back to me. As we approach Leicester platform 3. You've made this easier by making it 36 boxes. It's not been a good debut, has it? Stu, hello, I'm doing good, thank you. How are you? No more than 20 over the AWS magnet coming in. Gareth Kemp, not sure on the station still. KO class 37, Colas Derby. Richard, make it 100 boxes. I'll never be able to find the right button. I struggle now. Right, we are just pulling into Leicester, which is I've just got to check something with my lovely wife. Are we devouring a tub of Ben and Jerry's after this stream? We are, okay. I look forward to that. We are all stop, so we want to go full service braking because we're on a red, DRA set and into neutral. Doors on the left hand side. 37, somewhere over the rainbow. So as round enthusiasts, when GBRF come to Newham, do they have their own shunters, or do they use the shunters from the other FOC? Typically, the FOC will provide their own shunters, Sussex Round Enthusiast.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Dean Rose, what's your thoughts on taking a private psychometric test? Dean, it's... Some people will tell you it's useful, some people will tell you it's not. So, I don't think it will do any harm to do it. You know, if you've got the means to do it, then absolutely go for it. If you go for an interview and you've already got your psychometric, it's definitely going to help you on the way. So, there we go. Right, Locomotive Livery Location. Our first 6x6. What are we reckoning? Typical Nathan Trains, Lauren 37 at Derby. Do you know what?
It's time to reveal today's Locomotive Livery Location.
It's going to take a while to clear them all now. Jake Thomas, thank you very, very much for sending this one in, my friend. That is indeed, I think, Northern Princess Productions. You were the first one to get that right, I believe, today. Class 37 Lorem livery. I thought the Ralph Phoenix comment might throw you earlier on. And that is indeed at Derby. 37418 to be precise. I think you even got the exact loco, Northern Princess Productions. So, well done on that. There we go, guys. That is it. We are calling it for tonight. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you do want to send me any pictures for Locomotive Location Livery, you can do via the Dadrail website, which is www.dadrail.co.uk. I believe there's a link in the description. There certainly should be. You can also follow me on my social media channels, which are on the screen for you right now. Typical Nathan, yes, got it right. Well done. Fantastic, fantastic. And if you want to join me and our lovely community over on the Discord server, you're more than welcome to do so, and you'll find an invitation link down in the description below. Big thank you to Northern Princess Productions, RT, and everybody else who's been in tonight moderating. Really appreciate your help. Thank you to all the channel members: Vince, Typical Nathan Trains, Rick Ashtray, RAF Spotter, Laserjet, Barry Daniels, and anybody else who's been in tonight on the membership. And thank you to everybody else for watching. Your help and support is really, really appreciated. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, consider subscribing. That would be absolutely awesome. Cookie dough. Someone was asking. It's going to be cookie dough, I'm afraid. Cookie dough ice cream. Why not? Apparently they do an Angel Delight flavoured ice cream. Now I am here for that, but you know, I've got a medical this year, so I've got to watch the weight. All that good stuff. Like I say, guys, there is going to be a video out tomorrow evening. Channel members will get access to that tomorrow evening. Driver's Eye View, Hayward Seafront to East Croydon, part 1 of the Arlington to Acton Lane series. Train drivers rules are coming up soon, model railway content, all of that stuff that I will make as and when I get time. Let me know, guys. Send me some messages. Start a conversation on Discord or comment down in the comment section of this video. Let me know what you want me to stream next time, because you know, a lot of the new routes and stuff we've done to death. I'm thinking about jumping into Glossop or jumping into Cross City. Northern Princess Production has got some amazing Royal Mail scenarios on Train Sim Classic that I want to get in and do as well. Might jump into Sim Rail. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to see. Anyway, I'm going to press that button there. That should hopefully start the end credit music. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you for all your support. And I hope to see you again in another stream or video very soon. Bye for now.